Okay, the fantasy playoffs are here.
Playoffs?
Playoffs? We're talking playoffs? That's right.
Playoffs?
Most of you, I would say 95% of you, are probably here if you made the playoffs. Some of you might be here just to hang out. And if you are, then shout out to you for just, hanging out and having some, some fun. But let us know who made the playoffs. I'm assuming everyone here did. But some people start playoffs in week 16. I would not advise that just because, week 18, there'll be a lot of teams sitting players. But yeah, let's do our absolute best to help answer your questions. As we head into week 15, obviously a lot will change.
100%.
But the first question today, and we're going to go from top to bottom, Super Chats will skip the queue. Okay, so if you do want to skip the queue, skip the line, you can Super Chat, no obligation though. First question from top to bottom is Brunal. He says, "What up, guys? I need one at wide receiver 2, one RB2 with Jacobs likely out, and one at flex." Okay, so Olave, Waddle, Flowers, Higgins, James Cook, Javonte Williams. I'm going to go ahead and say Olave and Waddle are in my lineups. I know Waddle is playing the New York Jets. However, I think that Tua in this offense, it kind of like supersedes that matchup. I remember Drake London against the Jets. I told you guys don't start Drake London. I remember last week, Nico Collins against the Jets. We were like, it's okay to pivot if you need to. Also, the weather was an issue. But with Tua and Mike McDaniels, I just think that they kind of overcome those matchups. And with Waddle, if Tyreek is going to be injured, I think he could have a big game. So I'm going to go Olave, Waddle. But at the flex, I'm going to go ahead and so that's all we can do is Olave and Waddle. But at the RB spot, we have to choose between James Cook and Javonte Williams, Badaki.
I personally be going James Cook.
Same.
I'll start there. I like James Cook over Javonte Williams this week. Close. But I think we need to go with okay, what do these players been doing? And I like what Zay Flowers has been doing. And I can't trust this secondary. This is you've been preaching it. The secondary is one of the best. Every wide receiver that has gone up against the secondary has been essentially bad.
Yeah.
And you need to win this week. And I would personally be going Zay Flowers against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, are the Jacksonville Jaguars
actually?
Defense?
What? I'm with you because the Jags give up so many points. I mean, they give up the 6th most points to fantasy wide receivers.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be going with Zay Flowers over Jalen Waddle, especially if Tyreek's out. You really have to just hone in on Waddle in the secondary.
That's fair. That's one way to look at it.
Yeah. So I'll go Zay Flowers. And Chris Olave and James Cook.
Yep, I'm right there with you. That makes a lot of sense. Still early in the week, so we're getting ourselves accustomed to these matchups. But Elite Team says full PPR, pick 2 wide receivers in a flex: Ayuk, Monty, Chase, and Rice. 2 wide receivers in a flex.
2 wide receivers and a flex here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to play Montgomery. Great matchup versus the Broncos this week at the flex. So 2 wide receivers is between Ayuk, Chase, and Rice.
I think I'm going Ayuk and Chase here. I know Chase had a down game playing against the Minnesota Vikings here at home. And Jake Browning has been cooking it up, brother. I picked him off the waiver wires last minute because I had Matthew Stafford, even though Matthew Stafford balled out.
Yeah.
Jake Browning. I'm going Chase Ayuk and Monty over Rice here personally. But Rice could have a phenomenal bounce back game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
So I agree that it's the
Chiefs.
I think what you're saying is the right answer. What I would say is that Rashee Rice, if you swap numbers with Rashee Rice and Jamar Chase in the last 3 weeks, you would think Rashee Rice's production is actually from Jamar Chase. I mean, that's how good Rashee Rice has been, averaging just under 9 targets per game, averaging over 18 PPR points per game in the last 3 weeks. So he's been on a tear, but I wouldn't sit Jamar Chase with my life on the line. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
John, what's up, my man? He says, pick 2, Drake London, Brandon Cooks, OBJ, Tyler Lockett, and T. Higgins. So we have to pick 2 between those names.
Drake London, Brandon Cooks, OBJ, Tyler Lockett. Okay.
London is not in a very good matchup. Brandon Cooks at Buffalo. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game. Tyler Lockett has a very good matchup, but you can't really rely on him. He has the best matchup versus the Eagles. And then T. Higgins, I was saying this last week, I just don't trust T. Higgins yet with Jake Browning. He's averaging 3.5 targets per game with Browning under center. So that's a really, really tough call there. For me, this would be Brandon Cooks, and this would be Tyler Lockett. I don't trust Drake London despite his game last week. That was a great matchup. He should have smashed. This is not a good matchup this week. Also assuming Geno Smith is back, by the way.
Yeah, assuming Geno Smith is back there. I would say this. If Geno Smith is not back, I'm going Drake London, Brandon. You got Drake London, Brandon Cooks. You have Tyler Lockett, Brandon Cooks. I'll go Drake London, Brandon Cooks if Geno Smith is not back.
Okay.
That's where I would go there. Hopefully that
Stafford
helps.
Or Murray this week. This is going to sound crazy, but I'm going Matthew Stafford, and that's because of the matchup. He faces the Washington Commanders. Commanders are a nightmare in their secondary on their defense.
And he's
overall.
playing at home.
He's playing at home. Puka, Cooper Kupp are all great plays this week. Kyler Murray's still in play, but he's versus the Niners. It's not a good matchup, so I'll go Stafford.
Yeah, I completely agree. Freeman, who do I start at flex? Olave, Gibbs, or Waddle? In my playoffs right now, I mean, look, Olave and Gibbs, it will be out of those two. Both of these guys should be started in a lineup here. I will be going Jahmyr Gibbs just based off the matchup. Olave does have a good matchup here against the Giants, but I think that is really, respectfully, outside of Alvin Kamara, that's really only the weapon the Giants have to hone in on in the secondary.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what they're going to be doing personally. Yes. But I'll go Jahmyr Gibbs.
It's a really tough call between Gibbs and Waddle because it could very well be a David Montgomery game, and then you're like, damn, should have started Olave. Here's what I'll say. I think Olave is the safest play, but I think Gibbs has higher upside in this game. But I would lean Olave at this point if it's a full PPR format. Very close though. Chris Cross, Applesauce, what's up, my man? Thank you for the donation. You are going to skip the line with that super chat. He says, first buy, lost Herbert, need a replacement. Waiver options are Mullins, DeVito, Minshew, Flacco, Levis, or Ritter.
Wow. Tommy Cutlets, baby. Now let me stop.
I think, okay, so he has a buy. So we really should be looking at next week.
Week 16 essentially. So I'll go through it here. Tommy Cutlets.
Let's rule out Mullins, by the way, before we even look at the schedule, right? Okay.
Tommy Cutlets against the Eagles. I mean that could be
let's rule him out.
That could be a great game. Or Gardner Minshew here against the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, tough matchup.
Joe Flacco against the Houston Texans. Will Levis against the Seattle Seahawks. And then obviously Desmond Ritter versus Gardner Minshew there.
I think for me, I would be going Joe Flacco, as crazy as that sounds. I'm just thinking about who's going to throw the ball the most, who has that gunslinger mentality. And
there's no weather affected by this game.
Yep. I don't trust DeVito against the Eagles. I know he's been a fun story. Minshew's a close second for me because I think he's also got that gunslinger kind of throw the ball bunch mentality. But for me, it would be between those two names, Minshew and Flacco.
Yeah, Minshew and Flacco would be for me. I will go Joe Flacco just because he is playing. Well, both Minshew and Flacco are playing in the dome, playing against the Houston Texans. You have to think about the team that is going to be a high-scoring game, and that should be Flacco against the Texans if C.J. Stroud is back and healthy.
By the way,
week 16.
Just an update from the Coach Speak Index. Mike McDaniel on Tyreek, his chance to play in Week 15. He says, I'm optimistic about Tyreek. He's day-to-day, and apparently Mike McDaniel has a 90% reliability rating on injury when it comes to suiting up. So there's a good chance Tyreek plays this week from that indication. Thank you for the super chat, Chris Cross. Hopefully that is helpful for you. All right, again, if you guys want to skip the line, super chat's an option. Otherwise, we're going in order. And Khalik is the next one in order. It says, one more, guys. Which tight end should I start? Pat Freiermuth or Kincaid? So Kincaid didn't have the best game, guys, but he still saw 8 targets. 8 targets from Josh Allen in that offense. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to be relying on personally. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I would agree. He is day-to-day with that shoulder injury, so just keep that in mind. If he doesn't play, obviously you would go with Pat Freiermuth. So just keep an eye on that. Jeff, what's up, fellas? Need 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Keenan Allen, Puka, DK, Saquon, and Zay Flowers. Puka for sure for me.
100%.
Another wide receiver.
Personally, same thing I said about Jamar Chase. You start guys who are stars in fantasy. I know it's not going to be the best quarterback play, but you're going to get 10 targets for Keenan unquestionably on Thursday night. So it'd be Puka and Keenan for me.
In the flex, Saquon or Zaza.
Who does Saquon play again?
The Saints. It's a tough one. This is a tough one here. It's not ideal. I think I'll go Zay Flowers here. I'm just worried about Zay Flowers in the narrative if this game is just taken away from the Jags early and often.
Yeah, I think that's what makes me lean DK personally. Is I don't see the Seahawks. You know what I mean? Like I can't see a scenario in which the Seahawks are up big in this game and they abandon the pass. It also is the best matchup for wide receivers. With DK.
And they're playing at home against the Eagles.
So it'll be DK for me for that last flex spot, but it's close.
I'll rock with you. Chiefs versus Patriots or Brown versus Bears. I said this in the waiver wire video, one of the best streamers in my opinion this week should be the Kansas City Chiefs versus New England Patriots. I know Bailey Zappi was just dueling up here on Thursday night, but Chiefs coming off a loss. This team should bully. The offensive line is not the best. Bailey Zappi is going to make mistakes, in my opinion.
I'm going to go Chiefs there, too. What's up, Ethan? He says, playoffs, baby. Need y'all for next week or 2, hopefully 3. Anyways, pick 3, full PPR, Justin Jefferson, Zay Flowers, James Cook, and David Montgomery. So if Jefferson plays, I'm personally putting him into my lineup. Guys, look, I know if you started him, you're disappointed. It's not his fault. He got injured. He had 3 targets on 18% of the snaps. Justin Jefferson is a 90 to 100% snap player on that team. I said the same thing about Amari Cooper last week. You know, before he got injured in their previous game, he was on target for 15. He was on track for 14 targets, with Joe Flacco. Comes out the next week. What does he get? 14 targets. Justin Jefferson was on track for 15 targets in that game. I'm putting Justin Jefferson into my lineup if he's healthy. I will also choose Zay Flowers and then David Montgomery. I like James Cook, but the matchup isn't very good against the Cowboys.
Yeah. I'll rock with you there. I would say this. If Justin Jefferson doesn't play, then the decision is essentially made for you, Ethan. So hopefully that.
And in a way, that's maybe ideal for you. The decision's out of your hands, But we will have to wait and see. We did just get a super chat from Cameron. So Cameron's going to skip the line. Thank you for your donation, my man. He says, with Stroud out, Kyler's my backup. But due to a tough matchup, would you grab Flacco, Minshew, Carr, Ritter, Levis, Trubisky? Yeah, so I think this is where that line is for you and I, where it's like, look, Kyler's matchup is terrible. But I said this about the last time he played. It's all about garbage time with this team. You don't expect Kyler Murray to have 20 points going into half. Badaki, you're like, all right, 8 points into half. I'm okay with that. I'm all right. A lot of people telling you don't start him versus the Rams. It was a bad defense. He goes out and he puts up 22 points, and a lot of that was in garbage time. So I'm still going to lean Kyler Murray. It's just none of those names have the upside of a Kyler Murray or the rushing appeal either.
Yeah, completely agree. Thank you so much for the super chat there, Cameron. We did get a super chat from Alex. I don't see his comment in the chat. Looks like he did.
He just
okay.
He just put it in the chat.
Okay, here we go. He says, first of all, thank you so much for the super chat there, Alex. At some point, should I drop Aaron Jones? I made playoffs and have McKinnon. Okay, I mean, I'm keeping him personally. Is he somebody I'm going to be starting? I'm not necessarily sure. I think he is a droppable candidate if there is somebody big on your waiver wires. I doubt the names of like Zach Moss is on your waiver wires or Rashawn Johnson or Deontay Foreman or
Well,
Khalil Herbert.
I don't know.
I
If you
doubt those
noticed
guys are.
in this week's game, but Rashawn Johnson played like 10% of the snaps. It was
No, I
right.
haven't.
It was right back to like pre Deontay Foreman injury. Foreman was the guy, so you know, just to clarify, there, Rashawn is just dead.
I guess
hear what you're
I'm just
saying.
thinking about like those names, you know, like those overall names. I'm not necessarily sure if I'm going to be dropping Aaron Jones for the names like that, and I'm
Yeah,
trying to
I
think of
agree.
names that are in our waiver wire currently.
No, I mean Antonio Gibson comes to mind. Yeah, I mean you keep Aaron Jones, McKinnon, is super interesting actually. If so, like Badaki, if today Isaiah Pacheco went on IR, which we don't expect to happen, then I think you and I would both be like, yeah, go pick up McKinnon. That's fine. But in this scenario, we're not there yet, so I'd keep Aaron.
Yeah, I'm keeping Aaron as well. But
Because
thank you so much
what if
for the
he's
super
healthy
chat.
and your starting running back goes down with an injury? You'd probably want Aaron Jones on your team at that point, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, 100%. You're not going to start him with confidence,
yeah.
but
Thank you for the donation, guys. Again, donations will skip the line and you'll get your question answered straight away. But from top to bottom, Ethan is the next one. He says, sorry for the back-to-back questions, but do I go with Garrett Wilson or DJ Moore? You start DJ Moore, my man. Yeah, absolutely start DJ Moore. I mean, he's a superstar with Justin Fields. Ham, says start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. Etienne, Elliott, Monty, Cup. I'll go Etienne and Monty.
agreed.
At wide receiver, Cooper Kupp, Devonta Smith, Jaden Reed. Those would be the 3 I would start.
The 3 I would
flex. Yeah.
I completely agree there. Carlos, hello guys, finished 12-2. Big thanks to you fellas for coming.
Let's go.
Appreciate you, man. I'm glad that we helped you out. For this coming game, Devon or Zeke, I will be going Devon personally.
Yeah.
Don't love Zeke's matchup against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I kind of expect them to abandon that run game potentially, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, the only way Zeke is successful for fantasy is if it's through the air against that Chiefs defense.
Which he did get a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
I think he called 7 out of 9 targets this past week.
He did. He played well. I mean, we talked about him as an option for people because Pittsburgh, they've been a little bit liable against running backs at times. But yeah, that's how we would play it. We did just get a super chat from Cameron, so Cameron's going to skip the line. He says, flex Reed or Waddle in full PPR. Here's what I'll say. If Christian Watson doesn't play again, I genuinely have full confidence in Jaden Reed over Waddle. I mean, he right now is my wide receiver 21 on the week. Jaden Reed is. He was one of those players I told you to start with confidence last week because it was a great matchup and there was no Christian Watson. He ended up with 10 targets, a couple rushing opportunities, and a touchdown. Now he gets to play the Tampa Bay Bucks, which are one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. In fact, they give up the second most points to fantasy wide receivers. So, yeah, Jaden Reed is another great play this week if Watson's out.
I would agree. I think I'm starting Reed with Watson or not. I think his upside is significantly higher. We haven't seen too much of a decline with Watson being, with Jaden Reed and with Watson being on the field. And they get him the ball. They get creative ways to get him the ball, especially against this team, especially in the week that they have to win. They needed to win this past week. They did it. It's a must-win week for the Green Bay Packers if they want to make it into the playoffs here. So I'm going to go Jaden Reed regardless because Waddle I just can't trust playing against. If Tyreek Hill doesn't play against Sauce there personally.
Yeah, I can respect it.
Yeah.
All right, next question in order. Thank you for the donation, Cameron. Again, guys, if you want to skip the line, donations are would put you to the top of the line, but no obligation. Akshay says, start 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. Well, you're starting David Montgomery.
Yep.
Your 2 wide receivers would be Olave and Kupp, and then I would flex Garrett Wilson.
Yep. I completely agree there.
Dak
TBT.
or Lamar for the playoffs. Dak Prescott for me.
You have to go with Dak.
I said this a couple weeks ago,
going
but
crazy.
There's only 2 quarterbacks I really want to start over Dak for the rest of the year, and that was Allen and Hurts.
I would agree. I would agree. JR, start Zeke or Swift. Will be Swift for the both of us. And McBride or Likely. I'm going McBride.
I am too, but it's a good question. Likely was super involved last week. He's one of my starts of the week over on the Flock Fantasy website. But Trey McBride, while this is probably going to be a bad game for the Cardinals, he's going to be the most reliable receiver against the 49ers. So expect a lot of, 5 to 6 yard receptions, and that's great in PPR.
Yeah.
We did just get a super chat from MP.
Hey, pimpin'.
Merry Christmas, triple OGs. Thank you, man. And same to you, my man. He says, Amari Cooper or Javonte Williams. Last flex spot, Amari had 14 targets with Flacco. Javonte had 60% of the snaps. So where are you leaning here?
Home league, Amari Cooper or Javonte Williams. I will be going Amari Cooper this week.
Okay.
Over Javonte Williams. I mean, Amari Cooper playing the Bears. I just feel more confident in that matchup personally.
Yeah, I think my issue with Javonte is the usage of those running backs is so inconsistent. It just feels like they keep wanting to use Samaje Perine in important ways. So I'm going to go on Amari Cooper. Yeah, they didn't connect as well as you would have wanted them to yesterday or 2 days ago, but 14 targets is something that is kind of screaming at me there. Thanks for the donation, my man.
Love. We appreciate you. Back to the top here. He said, what's good, guys? Need to sit one. Cortland Sutton, Gary Wilson, Amari Cooper. I will be sitting. I guess it just depends who Cortland plays.
Cortland's a great play this week. I wouldn't sit
going against the Lions. Yeah, he's playing the Lions. And then I actually would be sitting Amari Cooper.
Yeah, given those options, I agree.
Yeah, Dallas Goedert or McBride this week. I'm going Dallas Goedert.
That's a good question there. I have McBride ranked ahead of him at this moment. My issue with Goddard is he just disappears in certain games, and whereas McBride, I just think he's always that reliable option for Kyler right now in an offense that doesn't have much reliability.
I get it.
Geno or Trevor Lawrence this week. Trevor Lawrence against the Baltimore Ravens. Really, really don't like that game. But I just don't know how you start Geno Smith either with any confidence. Coming off an injury, that's tough to start him with some sort of confidence. So it would be Trevor.
Yeah, I'm going Trevor Lawrence here. Jacoby Myers and Chris Godwin. I'm going Jacoby Myers. I don't love it.
I believe I agree with you. I just need to double check.
A better matchup here, playing at home against the Chargers. I like that one. Jimmy T, hey guys, Breece Hall or Gibbs this week. Love watching the streams. We appreciate you, Jimmy. I will be going Jahmyr Gibbs against the Broncos. One of the best matchups for a running back.
That's a tough call there. That's a tough call. A lot of people were telling you guys to sit Breece Hall. We were not in that camp. We consistently told you guys to start him. And a lot of that had to do with the work this guy is getting in the air. I just feel like if you had that kind of usage with Jahmyr Gibbs, it would be potentially RB1 type usage on that offense. So I definitely hear why it's a great matchup for Jahmyr Gibbs. But I mean, we're talking about Breece Hall. Let me read you his target numbers in the last 4 games. 6 targets, 9 targets, 8 targets, 9 targets. I mean, some of you guys would take that for your wide receivers in your flex spot, So I'm going to go Breece Hall there.
Okay.
I think it's the usage is crazy for him.
Yeah, fair argument. It makes sense why you would go there.
Yeah.
Would you start Jordan Love against Tampa or Stafford against Washington? We would both go Matthew Stafford. Jordan Love does have a good matchup against Tampa though. But Matthew Stafford this week.
I do love Jordan Love this week. In fact, if Tyreek doesn't play, which it looks like he will, I would start Jordan Love over Tua. I'm currently starting Matthew Stafford over Tua already. That's how much I like his matchup. But yeah.
BC, hello gents, looking for a flex McBride or Zeke. We both go McBride.
Ooh, that's a good question there.
Okay, I will go McBride for me personally.
That's a good question. Again, I'm not expecting Zeke to be successful on the ground, but the first game without Ramondre, he gets 8 targets. What are we hoping for Trey McBride? 7 to 9 targets? You know what I mean? I think I'm gonna go Zeke there. As crazy as it sounds, if there's no Ramondre.
Okay, I can respect this. Scribbles tied.
Zeke, sorry, just to let people know, is my RB25 on the week, and I'm trying to decide between him and Ken Walker right now. As crazy as that sounds.
Wow. And, look, it makes sense against the Eagles there.
Yeah.
Ty Chandler or Rico.
He left the face with the watermark, like because he doesn't know what to do, and I don't think you and I would know either, would we?
Oh, no idea.
But the good news for Ty Chandler is he had 14 touches the last time out, but the game before that he had just 6. Look, if you're relying on either of these names in the playoffs, that's a tough place to be. I'm gonna be honest with you.
So I'm gonna
Ty
go
Chandler
Rico.
for me.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Correct.
I'm gonna go Rico, and let me tell you why. You see the opportunities when, and it's not a lot, right? You get frustrated that he got that touchdown last week, and I think that is something that can happen again this week. Tony Pollard brings you all the way down the field, and Rico is the guy that punches it in.
Sure.
And that's what you're hoping for. I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's what you're hoping for. With Ty Chandler, you're not hoping for touchdowns. You're hoping for a little bit more targets and split opportunity. Rico, I feel like, has a higher chance based off of this offense that he can find the end zone if that narrative happens. Tony Pollard brings him down, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, Ty Chandler coming off 15 touches last week. The team, Alexander Madison's not practicing right now with an ankle injury. I'm going to lean Ty Chandler. There's enough there. I don't have a strong opinion, but there's enough there.
I would agree.
Lean
I think I would say this: if Alexander Madison doesn't play this week, of course you go to Ty. So yeah. I think maybe that's a last minute decision type of opportunity there. Ginger Rail. Should I start JJ? Yeah, we spoke about this. You start here even with the question marks at quarterback. Marking Souls, Pickens, or Addison. I will be going Addison here, personally. It's not sexy whatsoever.
Yeah, if you have Jordan Addison in your ideal world, Justin Jefferson does not play. Hard to really have any confidence in Pickens at this point. I think I would 100%. Go Addison, but I'm trying to figure out how I feel about Higgins.
Higgins, or if that's Curtis Samuel, I will pick up Curtis Samuel. That's what I would say.
I hear you there. I would actually start Higgins over Addison this week, unless there is no Justin Jefferson. So yeah, that's how I would play it.
Yeah, I will go Curtis.
We've just seen enough from Jake Browning to assume at some point it might click, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay. Will.
Yeah.
So need a defense this week. I have Dallas and Jacksonville. I'm thinking about dropping Jacksonville and picking up either Chicago or the Rams. Who should I pick up? I personally wouldn't pick up Chicago's against Joe Flacco and the Browns. I would currently keep Dallas. Yeah, I'm currently keeping Dallas. So hopefully that helps. OBJ or Amari Cooper. This is a really close one in my opinion. I will be going Amari Cooper.
Same, but there's reasons for that question to be valid. Rumor, this will be Bill Belichick's last season coaching the New England Patriots. Allegedly, the team decided to move on from the longtime head coach after their loss in Germany.
Oh, boy.
That's interesting. It's just a rumor, though. Okay, we did just get a super chat from Brian Orlando. So Brian Orlando is going to skip the line with that donation. Brian Orlando sounds kind of like a main character in a movie or something, Well, that's Detective Brian Orlando. You don't know him?
Detective Brian Orlando.
Brian, thanks for your donation. You're going to skip the line here. It says, thanks for all the help, brothers. Let's win this bread. You love it. Any updates from last defensive streaming video? Have Kansas City, Jacksonville, Rams, Week 15 bye. So really we're looking at Week 16 if he's got a bye in Week 15. He has Kansas City, which faces the Raiders. Jacksonville, which they face
The Bucks.
The Bucks. You've got the Rams, which I don't really like their defense as a whole, but they face. Who the hell do they face?
The Rams?
Yeah.
The Rams play the Saints on
The Saints,
Thursday.
not ideal. He says Chicago, Seattle, and Cincinnati is available. Chicago faces the Cardinals. I like that the most so far. Seattle faces the Titans, and Cincinnati faces the Steelers. I actually like Cincinnati and Chicago better than some of those names that you mentioned. I would be willing to drop the Rams and the Jags for one of those names. Actually, let's just drop the Rams and let's add Chicago, in my opinion.
Yeah, drop the Rams at Chicago. I would say that it's a long shot, but the Broncos.
Yeah, I
They
picked
play
them
the
up in the league.
Patriots.
Yeah.
They play the Patriots in week 16, and they play at home. Bully game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's about it. That's the teams that I would go. Maybe and Packers. Packers at the Panthers.
Yeah.
Those are the other two I would pick up. So Packers, and then the other one was the Broncos.
Yeah, I like it. So we're on the same page there. All right, guys, super chats do skip the line for you. No obligation, though. It is an option. Hello, Tez is the next one in order. Atlanta or New Orleans for week 15? Atlanta or New Orleans? Atlanta faces the Panthers, and the Saints face the Giants.
I'm going Atlanta.
I think I'm going Atlanta as well with you there. That makes a lot of sense. Howler Goff this week.
I'm going.
It would be Howell for me.
Howell, yeah, I'm going Sam Howell. The Rams do give up a good amount of points to opposing quarterbacks. Sam Howell coming off a bye week as well.
Yeah,
I like that matchup.
Denver, their defense has improved in their secondary specifically this year. Jacob says, if Pacheco's out again, would you start Clyde over JSN at flex? Full PPR? No, I would not. In fact, in one of our videos this week, I talked about Pacheco and then left a comment and said, hey guys, Pacheco's out. Jet McKinnon is a fine flex play, but I don't feel that way about Clyde Edwards-Helaire personally.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you're inside the 10-yard line, you're probably going to give Pacheco the ball and try and rush for a touchdown. I don't think the Chiefs have that confidence in Clyde. I think the game plan changes in the red zone, and that's where the points for these Chiefs running backs come from. So, yeah, I would go JSN still.
Yeah.
JSN or Zay Jones at the flex. I would go JSN personally.
Agreed.
Start 2 PPR. Zeke, Connor, Chuba. That's a great question. I think Zeke would be in play for me, and James Conner. I don't love James Conner's matchup, but we have seen him perform really well against very good defenses. In fact, the last time he played the Niners, he averaged almost 5 yards per carry. That was without Kyler Murray, so they didn't score many points, but that would be my answer, Zeke and James Conner.
Yeah, I can't tell you to start Chuba with confidence, but I like Chuba over James Conner just based off matchup. But I can understand Zeke and James Conner are the guys that I would go with, so keep that in mind. We did get a couple of super chats here. We appreciate you. Irving is the first one skipping the line here. He says pick one: Chuba, Jones, Chandler. Jacobs and JT are out for him. You see, this one where I would personally pick Chuba over Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler.
I agree.
Yeah, I think this is a good option there for you, Irvin. Thank you so much for the super chat.
I definitely agree with you there. Aaron Jones, will he play? Will he not? We don't really know at this point. We'll have to kind of wait on some clarity there. But as far as Chuba Hubbard goes, I do like Chuba this week, and that's because he's averaging 25 touches per game in the last two weeks in a row. So, yeah, it would be Chuba for me there as well. And he says Jacobs. Okay, right. PPR Jacobs and JT. I guess you're already starting those names, or they're not going to play. My bad.
Those are the ones that are injured. Yeah,
Makes sense.
And then our next one is Ruben here. He says start McBride or Njoku. to start there, McBride or Njoku there.
I'm still going McBride personally.
Yeah, David Njoku had a great game, but I am still going McBride as well.
Keep in mind, guys, that we were just 1 week removed from Harrison Bryant scoring a touchdown instead of David Njoku when Joe Flacco was the quarterback. So it's just not that reliable. You know, Joe Flacco in week 13 starts, David gets 3 points. In week 14, he gets 27 points, you know. So clearly he has a high upside, but the floor is obviously the question mark there.
Yeah, the floor is safer with McBride. I would completely agree. Also, Zeke or Chuba.
I go Zeke personally.
I'll go Chuba.
In PPR, I just feel like, you know, Chuba's not getting the opportunities through the air that Zeke's going to get. So that's how I make my decisions there. We did get a super chat from Kiwi Sports Meg. Thank you for the donation, my man. He says, half PPR, 2 quarterback league. What quarterbacks? Fields, Browning, Dobbs, or Flacco? So Dobbs won't be playing anymore. He lost his job. Fields is absolutely in. And between Browning and Flacco is really the decision that we have to make there, Badaki.
Yeah.
Jake Browning is playing the Vikings. Flacco's playing the Bears. Both had really good weeks last week. I think I lean Flacco personally in that matchup.
Yeah, 2 quarterback league. Wait, so which one is he? What is the other one that you said you were starting?
Fields, Justin Fields.
Yeah, okay, Justin Fields. I will be going Browning personally.
Okay. Over Justin Fields?
No, I'm going Justin Fields and Browning, 2 quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
I will go Browning over Dobbs. Obviously, Dobbs and Flacco. Dobbs not playing, like you said.
Yeah.
I just think the way the Bengals are playing at home, Jake Browning is just dueling them up, and they want him to throw the ball.
Definitely hear you. My only concern is that the Vikings just held the Raiders to 3 points. You know, that defense is so much better than what it once was, but they still have given up a lot of points in different games. So it's a close call. It really, really is. The other question is 3 to play between Mixon, Ford, Zeke, Flowers, Deontay, Tyreek. If Tyreek plays, you play him. We don't sit Tyreek, so that's 1. Zay Flowers would be my other option, and then Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, exactly.
If Tyreek does not play, for me, I think I'm going to go Zeke over Jerome Ford and Deontay Johnson. They're using him like Ramondre Stevenson. They really are. So
yeah, it is interesting. I'll rock with you there. Actually, I'm going Jerome Ford.
Okay.
With the Bears.
He did sustain an injury.
If he does play, I will go Ford.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just all depends. To avoid his hand fractures, a hand injury there. So hopefully he is cleared. Hopefully that helps. Thank you guys so much for the super chat here. If you guys want to skip the line, all you have to do is drop a super chat. But if not, we are going in order. So back to the top.
And be careful. Don't be spamming your question in the chat. That will get you put in timeout if you end up doing that. So just a friendly reminder. But the next question in order from top to bottom is from Carlos.
Scarlito, starter tight end, Ingram or Ferguson. I mean, how can you sit brother Jake? You tell me.
How can you sit brother Evan with no Christian Kirk? You know, I mean, career day last time out, 12 targets. 11 for 95 and 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
That's freaking wild.
It's Evan for me.
For 32 plus points there. Yeah, look, Evan, phenomenal matchup there. I think both these guys should be started. I would say this. I'm probably starting Evan or Ferguson over whoever's potentially in your flex unless you're in a small league. Okay. So keep that in mind. I would go Evan Ingram without Christian Kirk, by the way.
Yep.
Jake, on a bye week, who y'all got as top couple of defenses in week 16 and 17? I should pick up. Look, we brought out a video a while back with all these defenses that have some good bye weeks or had some good opportunities in week 16 and 17.
I would say the Packers come to mind instantly when I think about some defenses. I don't think the Eagles would be available. Otherwise, they would be an option. The Jets would be great against the Commanders. Who Who plays the Patriots? The Broncos play the Patriots in Week 16.
I would say
Those are some names.
The teams that are playing.
Bears
how about
play
this?
the
Teams,
Cardinals.
any teams that are playing the Patriots, the Patriots and the Panthers are the teams that I want to go out and try to acquire personally. I think if Nick Mullins is still the quarterback and he is struggling, that might be another team as well. I would also say the Chargers because maybe Easton Stick duels it up or maybe not.
Yeah.
But those are the teams that are those teams that I will be targeting. You know, the team defenses that they're playing against, those guys.
Minshew or Browning?
I'll go Browning.
You're gonna go Browning.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if the question is this week, Minshew faces the Pittsburgh Steelers. I really like that matchup. Jake faces the Vikings. That's a little bit more difficult there. That is tough.
Yeah.
I think I lean Minshew, but it's close. I mean, I just checked my rankings. They're back to back. That's very, very close. Austin Johnson says 2 running backs and a flex. Mixon, Barkley, Gibbs, Connor, Aaron Jones. Well, you're definitely playing Tyreek Hill if he's healthy. Let's start there. You're playing Jamar Chase. You're playing Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
In a game where they scored 0 points, Devontae Adams had a very good game, considering. I think he had 10 targets, caught 7 of them, and they didn't score a single point, and he still ended up with 12.5 fantasy points. Now they get to play the Chargers, which is one of the best matchups. So we'll definitely play in those 3. That running back, though, between Mixon, Barkley, and Gibbs,
that's hard.
It's Gibbs for sure, and then between Barkley and Mixon.
It'll be Mixon for me. Just the way he's been playing lately. I know Saquon can pop off at any given point in time. Has going against the Saints. I guess before I put my foot in my mouth, what are the Saints and the Vikings on adjusted points? So let's see. Let's have a look.
So I'll just answer for me. It would be Saquon. He is just the offense. So
Tommy DeVito's offense, brother. But yeah,
Saquon scored
I
2 or 3 touchdowns last night.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm gonna go Brother Joe. As much as I love Say.
Okay.
We did get a super chat.
Yeah. So Bruce is gonna skip the line with that donation. He says, "Would you start Curtis Samuel or Jaden Reed? Jaden Reed, 100,000%. Great matchup versus the Bucks. They give the second most fantasy points when you adjust for schedule. Also rank Flacco, Stafford, Fields. This for me.
This week would be Stafford, Fields, and Flacco.
I agree.
Based off this week.
I agree.
Stafford has one of the best matchups. Field has one of the toughest, but with those rushing upside. And Flacco could just be a good, even medium guy.
What you have to hope is that Kyron Williams doesn't have a huge touchdown game, but they
screen.
So many people are attacking that offense through the secondary. So, yeah, we are on the same page there. Thank you for your donation, my man. Steven is the next one in order. He says PPR Stroud is out. Kyler Murray or Stafford. Stafford. Also have Puka, Kupp, and Kyron Williams. Basically the entire Rams offense. Starting Kupp, but need to sit one between Olave, Waddle, and Puka. I'd sit Waddle of those names. And I would just say, Steven, that there's not a better week to have the entire Rams offense. They're like, truly, there is not a better week that you could have asked for the entire fantasy schedule to have the entire Rams offense against that Washington Commanders defense. They should have a field day if things go right.
Completely agree.
Jacob says, would you start OBJ over Josh Downs? I would.
I would as well. I mean, another disappointing game for Josh Downs here. Looks like somebody you can't start moving forward, especially in the playoffs. I'm going to OBJ with that upside with Lamar.
He's going to be a really tough guy to value in Dynasty this offseason. Josh Downs just had a really good start. Most of his productions come with Minshew. He won't be the quarterback, and then it's kind of flamed out. He'll be really tough to kind of put a value on this offseason with so many good wide receivers coming in. Georgie. Hi, Georgie.
Hi, Georgie.
Gentlemen, assuming Nico's healthy and half PPR, should I start Collins, Ford, or Najee? Collins for me.
Yeah, LB Collins as well. Steven, start 2, PPR, James Cook, Mostert, Amari Cooper. Portland, it will be Raheem the Dream and Portland.
Yeah, I agree. That's a tough call there.
Raheem
Rashee
the
Rice
Dream
or
and
Waddle.
I'm going Richie Rich.
Yeah,
Another beautiful
I think I'm
matchup
with
here
you.
against the Patriots.
I think I'm right there.
Don't
with
love the
you as
Waddle
well.
one.
Yeah.
Evan, I need desperate help. Please. Star 3, Rice, Chase, Amon-Ra, Jay Jettas. Brother, you start your superstars in Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra, and Justin Jefferson if they play.
Yeah. I
Okay.
agree. I agree.
Just wanted to just waiting for it. Alex, at
Laporta.
this point, Alex, should I
Laporta.
drop Aaron Jones? Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jeff Laporta.
Yeah. Laporta.
Because we answered Alex. Start Connor or Chandler. Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph, DJ Moore, Cortland's son. This will be DJ Moore for me, even though it's a tough matchup.
It is a tough matchup, but DJ Moore is averaging over 21 fantasy points per game with Justin Fields under center.
My guy this year, I'm loving it. Also, I have Tua, but I am opting for Russell Wilson. Is this a good move? I'm scared Tua will get picked plenty against the New York Jets. I think Russell Wilson could be a good start this week going against the Lions.
To me,
I would.
This all comes down to if Tyreek plays.
Yeah,
if
that's what I was
Tyreek
gonna
plays,
say.
I would go Tua.
You saw how inefficient Tua was when Tyreek wasn't on the field. How everything kind of changed when Tyreek came back onto the field. He moves a lot of things. Okay.
Tyreek is the MVP.
Yeah.
You know, it's a quarterback award, but he's the MVP in my mind.
MVP. Hey, Oliver. Hey, man, love the content, but I need some help. I have to fill a running back, wide receiver, in the flex spot with these players: Mostert, Moss, Zeke, Kupp, Puka, Rice. Running back, wide receiver in the flex, it will be Raheem Mostert. What was Kirk Cousins saying?
Mostert.
Mostert. I'll start Mostert there, and then Kupp and Puka.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mostert.
Yeah, I agree. Slat says, where would y'all rank Zeke without Stevenson rest of the year? Also, top 2 in my league. I'm on a bye week. Love to see that. Honestly, dude, it's going to depend on matchup. But right, like for example, today he doesn't have a good matchup, but he's my RB25 on the week right now because of his usage. But
I was just gonna say he probably ranges between 25 and 30 depending on matchup there.
he has Denver in week 16, which is a great matchup for your running backs. Buffalo in week 17, which sounds scary, but they give up a high yards per carry to their running back. So he'd be right around, 24 to 27, I think, rest of the year if Stevenson's out. But I don't think Stevenson will miss the entire rest of the year.
Shark Doodle Sports, Browns or Saints defense. I will be going the Browns.
Yes.
Against Justin Fields. And for a flex, I would say this, first of all, before we move on. If Justin Fields beats the Browns in that defense.
Yeah.
Talk it up.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big week for him. You and I both really, really like Justin Fields. My concern is if he implodes against anyone, it will be this defense.
And if he does, even if he plays average, even if they lose the game and Justin Fields was still moving the ball down the field, that's huge. Don't you think? Or
yeah,
does he
but
have
I don't
to win
think
this game?
I think he needs to win this game and play well. Like they could win this game and he doesn't play well, and they could still move on from him.
Yeah, but like if he plays average, if he plays above average and loses this game and it's not on him.
It depends on how it looks. Like there's a difference between like the box score and like, did he play well? Like that should have been intercepted. That should have been intercepted.
Sure, that makes sense.
There was a play, and he played really well versus the Lions. Like you and I love Fields, but there was a play versus the Lions where it was a pass to Darnell Mooney, and he threw it to him on the sideline.
Oh my gosh!
I don't understand how that wasn't a pick six.
And Mooney just like extended his. I mean, it was first of all it was a bullet, that went to Mooney that looked like a terrible throw, but Mooney extended out to make it an even greater catch.
Yeah.
And took it for the extra yardage.
And the DB was not paying attention, but in most DBs would have pick six that, and that wasn't talked about, you know. So I think the Bears are internally scouting at the moment. Like, okay, all right, you know.
I get it.
I love Justin, but there still isn't that like quick processing yet. That's his real issue. We did get a super chat from Just Dak.
We didn't finish that second part of the question.
Oh, my bad. But I just want to say thank you, Dak, for the playoffs, man. For the super chat. And
Dak, I said this yesterday, I think on our live stream. You look good.
The Cowboys look good.
You look good. I don't know. I'll be surprised. Dak has to actually implode to not make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The whole team is too good. I don't see you already beat the Eagles. Like spanked them. And I'm interested to see how you play against the 49ers, which I'm pretty sure you do play against them, don't you?
Do they? I don't know.
Did they play the 49ers already?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Because the NFC East plays the 49ers.
That's a good question.
They played the 49ers, and I'm pretty sure they lost week 5. Yeah, that was the game that was like, well, the team that they lost to was the 49ers. Anyways, if you meet the 49ers again in the playoffs.
42-10, didn't they?
Yeah, remember that one? Yeah.
Oh my God.
But they're spanked the Eagles. Yeah, they are.
Anyway, they look good. Thank you for the donation.
Yeah.
To answer the rest of this question here, flex options are Spears, Zay Jones, and Curtis Samuel. I would be Curtis Samuel of all those options. He says, "Can I trust Hollywood Brown this week?" Trust? No. But he's probably your best option if those are the names that you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would agree as well. Is Keenan Allen playing on Thursday night? He did not practice.
Yeah.
Too early to say. Pretty sure he didn't practice because it is a short week. So I would say don't be surprised if he doesn't practice at all because he's a veteran and he doesn't really need to do any of that thing. It's a heel injury. Mm-hmm. Been playing through injuries all throughout the whole season, so we have to wait and see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Fields or Kyler?
I'll go Fields this week.
Yeah, I'll go Fields as well.
Also pick personally. 2, Adams, Amari, Deontay, Javonte, Jaden Reed. For me, this would be Adams and Reed.
Reed, yeah. We're on the same page there. Young Burke. Start Henry and Mostert at running back. Have Lamb and Puka for running back flex. All right, so your flex is Elliott, Reed, Flowers, or Lockett. This will be between Reed and Flowers for me.
Yeah, Reed for me.
Yeah. You going Reed over Flowers?
Yeah, I am.
That one's tough. I have Flowers over Reed right now. So I'll go Flowers. Hopefully that helps. Or Elliott over one of those. So can we answer that? Actually, Monty or Zach Moss. Come on, brothers. There's Monty every single time. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's really close with them, but Moss has been receiving.
That's true. Moss is getting more targets. It wouldn't surprise me if Moss outscores him, but this is a great matchup versus the Broncos, and I'm gonna go Monty. I think he has more touchdown upside. What's up, Hazelnut? Thinking about starting both my tight ends in the first round of the playoffs. One as my tight end, one as my flex. What say you? Well, we don't know who your tight ends are. It says down below, Ingram and McBride. Evan Ingram and Trey McBride. So will we start... Look, I would start Amari Cooper over...
I would start Ingram and McBride over Amari Cooper this week. I would. I understand Cooper got those targets, but like it's not... And maybe Joe does connect this week. He's just not connecting. Those last 2 games, if I'm not mistaken, Amari Cooper... he has been getting double-digit targets, but like only catching 4, right? I mean, okay, so this week he caught 7 out of 14, and then the week before caught 3 out of 5.
Well, that's because he was injured in that game. I would start Evan, but I would play Amari over McBride. I think McBride's a safe play, but I don't think he has the upside that an Amari Cooper has. Personally.
That could be it. I'm going both of those tight ends there. Hopefully that helps. Brandon, Gibbs, Monty, or Swift?
Man, how are you not playing both of those Detroit guys this week? I mean, like both of those. That's my RB 7 and 8 this week. Gibbs and Monty. So 2 top 8 guys, and we got to choose between one of them.
I
don't think anyone's been able to choose the right Detroit Lions running back on any given week.
No, I'm gonna go Gibbs with the passing upside.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think he still gets the touches, but if there's a screen in that game, it's probably gonna be to Gibbs.
Yeah, could be. And then Allen or Dak? I'll go Josh Allen, but it's very close.
Agreed.
And defense, 49ers or Eagles? We're going 49ers.
I would go
there,
49ers. Sure. Yeah, completely agree.
By the way, guys, we'll be live for the next 10 minutes. We'll do our best to get to everyone's question, but we're going in order. Super chats will skip the line. Again, the next 10 minutes, so 15 minutes past the hour, we'll be off. FC Eagles says, add OBJ, drop Pickens. Yes. Add Bears
Agreed.
D, drop Steelers. Yes. For week 16, start Goff or Kyler. I'm going.
This week I would go.
I think
I would go
Kyler
Goff.
there. I'm going Kyler.
I would go Goff at home even against the Broncos, but I can understand that. Hopefully that helps there. Ruben, start McBride or Njoku. It would be McBride for me, Zeke or Hubbard. This week it would be Hubbard for me. I think I'm going Hubbard over Zeke
for me, but I agree on McBride. Laporta or Kincaid, I'll go Laporta. He says great videos, went from 3-6 to 8-6. Love to hear that, Brendan.
Hey, love that. We appreciate you, man. Great. Puka, Brown, Rice, Lockett, Pittman need 2 in a flex. It will be Puka, Pittman. That would be Rice.
Yeah.
Puka, Pittman, Rice.
Who's Brown though? What Brown is that?
Hollywood Brown.
So Hollywood, is it AJ? Is it Noah? I don't know.
I mean, well,
That
if it's AJ
changes
Brown,
the
you
answer
start
a
him.
ton.
But I think if it's Noah Brown, I'm still starting Rice.
Oh yeah,
think?
same. I agree.
Okay, but if it's AJ Brown, it will be of course you
AJ.
start AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brad says start 2 running backs: Zeke, Pollard, Walker, maybe JT. This would be Zeke and Pollard for me. Like I said, I'm trying to pick between Zeke and Ken Walker right now, and I'm leaning Zeke at the moment. Zach Charbonnet ain't going away, boys. This is my concern for Ken Walker this offseason. Charbonnet is not going away. You know, everyone who was team Ken Walker in the Dynasty community early in the offseason were victory lapping. But Zach Charbonnet is not going away. And how crazy is it that a rookie gets more opportunities the deeper into the season we go? Isn't that wild? I mean, look.
I mean, last week he didn't have too much.
What do you mean?
Well, he had 10 opportunities. And
How many did Ken have?
Ken, 8 + 5 was at 13.
Yeah.
14.
So it's just Charbonnet is not going away. It's not going to happen. And it's going to happen for the entirety of Ken Walker's rookie contract.
I'll rock with you on this one. I'll rock with you with this one.
That's,
Start a tight end.
That's a little
Schultz.
segue into Dynasty, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it will be Schultz for. Well, actually,
If
Schultz
Stroud plays.
and if Schultz plays, yeah.
Otherwise, I go Chick.
Agreed. Cheeky Chick. So decent game this week. Space. How worried should I be about Fields against Cleveland defense? I mean, we kind of spoke about it a little bit earlier. If you were here talking about it, I mean, should be worried, but at the same time, he's been playing really well, in my opinion. Obviously, things to clean up, but I mean,
look, you should be worried because this is a good defense. You know, you should be worried. Most quarterbacks play this team. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Justin Fields' first ever start was against the Cleveland Browns. And I believe he was sacked like 10 times. Like, that defense had a field day. Now, the offensive line has completely changed since that time, but I'm hoping to see the improvements this time out versus that defense. I think you should be slightly concerned, but I think most people won't have a better option. Geno, Minshew, Browning start 2.
If Geno plays, it'll be Geno and Browning.
Yeah. I'm not sure will Geno play or not. I don't know.
I guess we'll maybe understand that a little bit more coming into the week. Maybe that's a better question to answer as we get closer. Maybe like on Thursday for you, Mighty Booch.
I agree. Feel free to hit us up in the fantasy hotline too. That answer could change, but right now I'd actually say Geno and Minshew at the moment.
Okay.
Johnny says, please help. full PPR, Calvin Ridley or Ken Walker and Ferguson or Dalton Kincaid. This would be Calvin Ridley for me. 13
Agreed.
target game. It didn't work out, but the opportunities are there. Ferguson or Kincaid, I go Ferguson.
Yeah, go Fergie as well.
That's
Yeah. Angel, should I start Evan at flex or Zach Moss? I have McBride at tight end. I'm starting Evan Ingram.
Agree. Yeah.
Diego, hi guys, Los Herb on my 14-man league. Fortunately, we got to buy Gino, Ridley, Mullins, Minshew, DeVito. I would pick up. I would try. Genuinely, I will pick up 2 if you have space.
Yeah,
I'm picking up Gino. I'm picking up Gino and Minshew if I personally can. If you can only pick one, let me just double check Gino. Hypothetically, Gino doesn't play this week. Tennessee and Pittsburgh in week 16 against Tennessee, week 17 against Pittsburgh. I have rather pick Gino at the moment, and Minshew is Atlanta, Vegas. So I mean, they're both
tough
kind of
place
even.
to be, and I feel your pain. I'm in a 2 quarterback league, and I just lost Herbert, and you know it sucks. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie says, "What's good, fellas? Full PPR need 3. Who are you sitting? Mixon, Achane, Keaton. You sit Keaton.
Yeah.
Godwin, Dylan, Curtis Samuel.
So we pick one to be Curtis for me. Where's AJ play actually first before I say that? Because I think when AJ has a good matchup, it is very favorable for him. And AJ plays the Bucks, which is not a good matchup against the run game, technically.
Yeah, I don't really like Curtis or Godwin this week. Godwin, he did just get 11 targets, which is crazy, but he finished with 5 catches for 53 yards. Yeah, I'm going to go with Curtis Samuel.
Rest of the season defense for you could 49ers, Falcons, or Green Bay be 49ers for us regardless.
Yep.
William, I have Trey McBride and Everett as tight end. Would you take Kraft, Henry, or Thomas as potential flex or backup for the playoffs?
Kraft.
At the bye week this week. Yeah, it would be Kraft for me as well.
But I wouldn't trust him in the playoffs in general, but he would be the stash there.
I think if Trey McBride goes down, I would want Kraft. That's what I would say.
Yeah, pick 2, Higgins, Waddle, Deontay, Cooks. This would be Waddle and I think Cooks for me. Yes. Cooks and Deontay are back-to-back in my rankings, though.
It'll be Deontay and Cooks. Don't love Waddle's matchup, Mighty Booch, but understand why you would start Waddle.
Yeah.
Hello, please help. Calvin Ridley or Kenneth Walker? I think we answered this already.
One, yeah.
Abe, how you doing? He said, hey, we appreciate you. I'm glad you made the playoffs. He said, can we trust Stroud this week, or should I lock in Nico, Rice, or Reed, or even Myers? And if Stroud plays, you start him. But should you lock Nico, Rice, or Reed?
If Stroud
I would
plays,
say this.
you can play Nico. If not, you play Reed.
Yeah, if Nico doesn't play, you play Reed. Agreed.
Yeah.
Completely.
We are live for the next 3 minutes, guys, just so you know.
Trying to do some quick fire here.
Cyan says Hill or Komet.
I'm going Cole.
Kansas City.
Chiefs.
Or New Orleans. Yeah, Kansas City. Should I pick up Jake Browning or Russ Wilson? Russ Wilson. And
Agreed.
Pick him up just in case CJ doesn't play. Moss, Cook, or Reed. Pick one.
Reed.
This would be Reed. Love or Stafford. I'm going Stafford right now.
Agreed.
Noah Brown if Stroud plays, or Zay.
Agreed.
I have Kyron at RB2 and Nico Collins at flex. I have Eckler and Puka on the bench. What do? You play Puka Nacua over Nico Collins, in my opinion.
Agreed.
TD says start 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs in a flex. Mostert, Monty, Kamara. You start all those guys.
Yeah.
And then you start Adams and
Puka. Yeah, and then the flex will be...
Well, those running backs. Mostert, Monty, and Kamara.
Yeah. Agreed.
Sean says rank these quarterback options for the rest of the season. Lost Herbert. I have Dobbs. Dobbs isn't playing. Mullins, Flacco. I would rank it as Flacco, DeVito. Those are the only names I'm even considering.
I'm with you right there. Tommy Cutlet.
Pick 2 in a flex, please. Pittman, Myers, Rice, Nico, and Reed. Should I start Stroud or Stafford? I'm going Stafford this week, honestly. Unless Stroud is just completely healthy, we'll have to have a different conversation. Pick 2 in a flex. Pittman is in. Reed is in, and Nico is in if Stroud plays and he's healthy. If Stroud's not playing and he's not healthy, Rice.
Yes, agreed, agreed. I have Love and Golf after losing. Bro, would you be more confident starting in week 15 and 16? Just depends on the matchup, brother. Um,
Well,
I don't have.
in week 16, Jordan Love plays the Carolina Panthers, which sounds like a good matchup, but it really hasn't been all that good of a matchup. Jared Goff, meanwhile, in week 16 has the Vikings. I mean, I would lean Jordan Love there.
Yeah.
And then week 17, the Vikings and the Cowboys. I guess I'd lean Jordan Love the whole way.
Yeah, it's not a good one for Jared Goff,
Yeah.
but not a good one for Jordan Love either.
All right, we're going to answer 5 more questions, guys. Like we said, we're ending the stream at the 15-minute mark, which we're already there. 5 more questions, quick fire. Michael says, me again. Bench 1, Evans, Waddle, Ayuk, Devontae. It'd be Waddle for us.
Agreed.
Love it, Dak. Mark says, likely Schultz or Pat. That'd be, for me, that's a tough call. I think likely for me.
Yeah, it'll probably be likely for me as well. If Schultz doesn't play, it'll be likely.
Yeah. B Growing Stuff says, clinch the bye. I have Miami and Baltimore D. Both have bad playoff schedules, week 16 and 17. Should I drop them, pick up Packers or Rams? I don't mind the Packers one, and I would drop Miami.
Yeah.
Rank my running back for the rest of the season, Etienne, Monty, Swift, Warren. It would be, for me, Etienne, Monty, Swift, Warren in that order.
Agreed.
Pick 2, Evans, Debo, Cup. Man, that's a tough call. I would not sit Cooper Kupp this week. I don't know how you sit Debo either. Yeah, it'd probably be those two. Debo and Kupp. That's close.
Sorry, Ellen was just talking to me. I'm picking Debo and Evans, if that's
Okay.
not the same question.
Royer, this is the last one we're going to do here, guys. 2 wide receivers, Higgins, Reed, D-Hop, Terry Watson. This would be Reed and D-Hop for me.
Yeah, agreed.
Start 3 running backs, Mixon, Jones, Pacheco, Connor, Chase Brown. This is Mixon, Pacheco if he plays. I don't think he will. And James Conner.
Yeah.
If
Sorry,
Pacheco doesn't
Ellen's
play,
just calling me.
then Aaron Jones. And it looks like to end the stream, we have a super chat from Giannis Antetokounmpo. What's up, Giannis? Thank you for your donation, my man, as we end the stream here. He says, non-PPR starters are Purdy, Mixon, Mostert, Evan Ingram, Flowers, Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Ravens, D. Aubrey is the kicker. Benches, Goff, Singletary, Keaton, Kincaid, McLaurin. Leave it or change it. Yeah, would I start Terry over any of those names? No, I don't think I would. If Jefferson doesn't play, I think Terry is a fine option if Justin Jefferson doesn't play. But I wouldn't start Singletary over Mixon or Mostert. I wouldn't start Kincaid over Ingram. And I wouldn't start Goff over Mixon. So there you go. That helps answer your question there. But thank you for the super chat, my man. Sorry we weren't able to get to every question, guys. Keep in mind, we're making so much content over here, so we got to get to that editing process here as soon as we can. But we appreciate y'all. We'll be live again in not tomorrow night, but the night after. So come join us then if you got some more questions. And we will see you guys very soon. Appreciate all the love, the support, and good luck this week.